Hello, everyone, and welcome to our chat about the Florida Solar for All program. My name is Sam Vorse. I'm the Conservation Project Coordinator for the Florida chapter of the Nature Conservancy. I'm here today with my colleague Randall Sinius, and I will let him introduce himself later on in the presentation. All right. So the vision of this program is to deploy rooftop solar to low-income and disadvantaged communities in the state of Florida. And throughout this presentation, we'll be referring to low-income and disadvantaged communities as LIDACs, which is a term used by many federal agencies. This program will bring substantial benefits to those communities, including the reduction of greenhouse gases leading to cleaner air from the transition away from traditional energy usage like power plants, which contribute around 25% of total emissions in the United States. And that is often named the second largest source of emissions in the US. Deploying solar will also improve households' electricity reliability. In other words, this will keep households' lights on, keep their AC running, their fridge running during outages from hurricanes or other storms, of which we have many in Florida. On average, there's around 50 power outages in the state of Florida per year. That definitely disproportionately affects LIDACs, making those communities wait longer to have their power restored after major power outages. Additionally, the program will also create jobs around the state through a workforce development program that will be explained later by Randall. And lastly, solar will reduce household energy burdens by decreasing households' electricity bills by 20%, with an estimated program total of $245 million saved on electricity bills. And those are just a few of the many benefits for solar for LIDAC communities in Florida. Next slide. So, meet our coalition. The program is run by this coalition made up of 3 organizations. First, we have SELF, SUN, and TNC. We have SELF, Solar and Energy Loan Fund, the program's green bank and nonprofit organization with a mission to help homeowners from all walks of life save money on their energy bills and insurance costs to enjoy safer, healthier, and more comfortable homes. Then in the middle, we have SUN, or Solar United Neighbors. They are our deployment specialists, solar organizers, educators, communicators, and self-proclaimed policy and technology nerds, helping homeowners find the easiest and most cost-effective ways to go solar. And then finally, we have the Nature Conservancy, TNC. We are the community outreach and reporting specialists that have experience bringing science-based and innovative on-the-ground solutions to all 50 states and more than 70 countries and territories around the globe. Together, we make up a group of very capable specialists dedicated to the LIDACs throughout Florida. Okay, so the coalition applied for and received funding for this program through the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, which first comes from appropriations made in the Inflation Reduction Act, which was an amendment to the Clean Air Act in 2022. There was a total of $7 billion, that first tier on the slide, that was allocated to Solar for All in the United States as a whole. Florida specifically was awarded $156 million of that total, which will then be trickled down into individual LIDAC households throughout the state. This specific grant is actually the largest ever investment in residential solar in the state of Florida, so that is a big win for this program. Now, this is a 5-year grant program, grant funded for 5 years, with the official launch in February of 2025. But a really compelling factor about the program is that It will survive past the end of the 5-year grant period with the support of a revolving loan fund that's incorporated into the program.
So you guys are hearing this. You guys are seeing all of the different results, all the money. And I bet you guys are wondering, one, who I am. And I'll start out with that. My name is Randall Sinius. As Sam mentioned earlier, I am the Climate Project Manager for TNC Florida, and I will be working closely with the Climate Strategy Director, Morgan Hickman, on the Florida Solar for All program. So the second question you might be asking is, who benefits from Florida Solar for All? First and foremost, LIDACs. So low-income households, and for this program, the definition of LIDACs are households at or below 80% area median income. An EPA requirement, and therefore program requirement, is that the upgrades in solar installation must have a result of at least 20% savings in energy bill cost for each household. And as Sam mentioned, there will be a sliding scale for our subsidies based on income. This program will provide sliding scale subsidies that will range from 30% to 100%, including low interest financing options, thanks to SELF. Next beneficiaries of Florida Solar for All are, of course, solar contractors, which will all be required to enroll in the program to install Solar for All projects. The vetting process will be thorough to ensure the highest quality, equity, and inclusion. All solar contractors in association with the program must follow the minimum participation requirements in order to qualify for a contract, which include providing prevailing wages for all employees, payroll reporting, a cap on price per watt, and establishing an apprenticeship program as a part of your services. The apprenticeship program will recruit job seekers and interested parties from the communities that they are servicing, which is a win-win. And that brings me to another important beneficiary of this program, and that is job seekers. Job seekers, this is for you. The statewide apprenticeship program will be a paid opportunity. So please be on the lookout for future recruitment information. This all sounds nice, but who will qualify? As we mentioned before, each household will be required to provide income for income verification, and we will be verifying whether they are at or below that 80% area median income threshold. In terms of prioritization, we will be prioritizing homes that are already physically solar ready. That means that if we can put solar PV on your roof right now, that means that your home, as you register for this program, will be assessed and determined first. There are limited funds set aside for minor improvements such as minor roof repairs, electrical panel upgrades, and insulation, weatherization. We are primarily focusing on single-family homes, but multifamily units will be assessed and considered on a case-by-case basis due to the complicated nature of net metering. Throughout the duration of the program, we will be evaluating ourselves using several performance metrics, including numbers of households served, annual dollar savings per household, megawatt of new solar capacity added to the grid, tons of CO2 reduced, and the number of new jobs created. We are expecting a lot of outcomes from Florida Solar for All, but a few program outcomes that I can mention are: 1, reduce energy burden for LIDAC households; 2, an expanded and diversified solar workforce in the state of Florida; 3, we are hoping that the momentum from the rapid statewide deployment of rooftop solar will attract more capital for equitable energy projects to the state. And then finally, as Sam mentioned previously, we are hoping to establish a revolving loan fund to continue the program in perpetuity past the 5 years of the official program.
On this slide, we'll be looking at our simple program timeline. Since the inception of this program, the cohort has been in deep research mode, working together to create the perfect program for Florida's LIDACs to obtain solar. The coalition is now in the inform phase, that first point on the timeline, starting in September of 2024. That is where we'll be advertising the program through virtual and in-person meetings and conferences, just like this one, to engage our partners. And then After building all of these really meaningful relationships and getting the word out to like-minded organizations all throughout the state of Florida, we will then be forming the regional committees in the engage portion of our timeline, starting in fall of 2024. So these regional committees will be filled with local organizations, municipalities, community members, where they can aid in the program planning and give local insights. And then that will lead us into the official program launch date in February of 2025, just 6 months away. Mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. And throughout the implementation of the program, after February of 2025, we'll continue to advertise and recruit as many LIDACs as possible, taking into account other households that might not have been eligible in the initial sweep of applications. We want to thank the many organizations who provided letters of support during the beginning stages of the program to help secure funding, such as Habitat for Humanity of Florida, Centro Campesino, local governments, and regional planning councils across the state. Thank you for your letters of support and your service to the program. With guidance from those wonderful partners, we'll soon be able to form the regional committees. Because this is a statewide program and culture and demographics change drastically from the Panhandle down to the Keys, we've strategically reached out to organizations all throughout the state of Florida to bring more localized knowledge to the table. For example, those local organizations could name local programs that bring enabling upgrades for households to qualify for the program, like purchasing new roofs or free internet, or bring to light specific community needs like translations of resources to different languages. We are considering all avenues to make sure we reach as many LIDAC households as possible. Next slide.
Well, that brings us to information about our full public launch. We will be publicly launching Florida Solar for All in February 2025. Sam said it once, and I'm saying it again, and I'm gonna say it a third time. February 2025. So please mark it in your calendar. On that day, we will be launching the website portal, which will be live for household applications. And on that website will also be the information for open engagement meetings that will be held all over the state, because this is a statewide initiative. We will have Solar United Neighbors navigators to support applicants as needed, and we will have ongoing recruitment for our apprenticeship program. So please, if you have anybody who is a job seeker or a youth that is looking to get into the job force, especially if they're looking at the solar industry, make sure that you are staying tuned to all information about the Florida Solar for All program. And to make sure that we are leaving you guys with something a little bit more digestible, I want to make sure that we have some closing remarks, a summary, and why TNC is involved in something like Florida Solar for All. The Florida Solar for All program aims to equitably deploy statewide rooftop solar to reduce energy burdens, improve energy resilience, and reduce greenhouse emissions for LIDAC households. The program will offer local paid solar apprenticeship opportunities and utilize an experienced network to expand access to solar energy by overcoming state and local regulatory barriers. So why TNC? TNC brings over 50 years of experience in the state of Florida, supporting community engagement and environmental policy. TNC will also ensure that the solar projects benefit LIDAC households through outreach programs, program implementation, and reporting.
On behalf of TNC, self, and Sun, we thank you so much for your time and attention in this presentation. The Nature Conservancy Florida Climate Team is proud to be a lead in the Florida Solar for All program, bringing much needed solar to low-income disadvantaged communities throughout Florida. Lastly, I want to shout out an upcoming virtual information session on October 15th. Look out for that invite, and we look forward to seeing you all there. If you have any questions or would like to get involved in the program, please reach out to us. Morgan Higman is the program director for TNC, so you can email her, myself, or Randall for any additional information. Our email addresses are up on the screen currently. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.